Hey everybody, welcome back to Sensei Steve Says, hosted by Shiage Do Martial Arts. Today we're going to be working on changing up some katas to focus on our techniques and changing them up to kind of give us a little bit of a different feel for the same kata. The reason we would do this is so that we can, one, just keep things fresh. Sometimes practicing the same thing over and over, just gets boring. But also, when you start changing and modifying and stuff like this, you see that sometimes you can see the different changes in bunkai or what the bad guy's doing while you're doing your kata, and it kind of gives you a deeper understanding of why you were doing what you were doing in the first place. So today we're going to focus on 3 katas. We're going to start with CSUN, and instead of doing our regular CSUN stance, we're going to do it all in a horse stance. Now, traditionally, CSUN stance or CSUN kata was done. The Isshin Ryu version of CSUN kata is done mostly in horse stances. So we're going to do that. Same chin kata we're going to do from a fighting guard. So that's going to be a little bit different instead of being in the low horse stances all the time. And then Hachi, we're actually going to move forward and back instead of moving side to side like traditional. I'm just going to put this out there. I'm making this up as I go along. There's no right or wrong way to change up a kata. If you want to add a weapon, throw a bow in your hand to do a kata, the trick is to think about what would work and what wouldn't. For instance, if I use that example, if I put a bow in my hand to do, CSUN kata, if the first move is side block punch, how am I going to do a side block and a punch with my bow? Is it going to be more sense to block across and then stab? Is it going to make more sense to block maybe this way and stab? There's no right answer or wrong answer or whatever. It's going to be basically based on the fight in your mind's eye. The real key when you're doing this is that you have a good visualization of what this fight looks like. Okay? So we're going to start off with CSUN kata, and we're going to do it all in horse stances. So, as best you can either copy me exactly, or you can do the kata, as you see fit with your own, changing up your horse stances as you want to. But we'll do this all together. As me, Kyotsuke, Rei, CSUN, Hachi. So right off the bat, stepping out, side block, punch. I see another person here, punch, going this way, punch. I come up, it makes more sense to me to come this way now, so I'm going to shuffle, double head block, look over my shoulder, this guy's close, double shudos. Now I'm going to step it, I'm going to do my roots block, and instead of being straight off to my side here, I'm going to keep it over here more, because this is where this guy's trying to kick me. Grab, pull him past me, step out here, same thing. Now this one, I am more off to the side here, so this makes sense to do it here. Block, grab, pull, one more, block, grab, pull. Staying in the same stance, I'm not even going to move. Punch, punch. From here, it's going to be a big kick, heel push kick, and punch. And then I'm going to step once, so that I'm in this stance. Side block, punch, punch, big kick, punch. Now we're over here again. I don't have to move. I'm already facing the corner. 2 punches, big kick, punch, break. Look, I'm going to draw back. Now I'm going to step out of my horse stance for a minute here because I don't have to be in just the horse stance. Katas have lots of stances. So now when I am going to step into my horse stance, and instead of just a head block and a nose bop, I'm going to block and grab. Then they grab that hand and break. So I'll try it on this side. Draw back, step out, block, and grab. He grabs my hand and break. Draw back. I'm going to switch. I am going to be in a Zenkutsu. Block and grab. He grabs my hand and I break. From cat stance, just like regular, open hand side block, I'm going to shift here, punch, punch instead of kicking and punch. He goes to grab, I shuffle back, he comes to kick, and I break. Alright, so little changes can make a big difference to the kata. It didn't make sense to do all the kicks if I was going to be really low in a horse stance. So maybe instead I added a couple extra punches or changed the blocks to be something a little more productive. So we're going to do the same thing with Seiyun-chin, except this time we're going to take the horse stances out of it. Okay? So let's give that one a shot. So Yasumi, Kyotsuke, Rei, Seiyun-chin. So we're going to step over here, and as I step out, what I'm going to be in is a haikudachi. Now somebody's grabbing me with two hands. So I'm going to come up, strong block. They try to grab me again, so I'm going to come down, strong block. 2 punches and a kick to get him away. I see this guy, he comes in, so I'm going to block up. He comes in again, block down, 2 punches and a kick. I come in this way, same side this way, block up, block down, 2 punches and a kick. I see this guy here, so I'm going to draw back and smash his foot. Shuffle the punch and elbow uppercut. I'll keep those the same. Now for this one, what I tell my students a lot of times is remember that when you step in to do a technique, you're being aggressive. Okay? So you're usually attacking. So this is probably more of a hammer fist or part of a sweep than it is an actual down block. So from here, I do this reinforced side block. I'm going to kick the leg out and back fist low, aiming for that hip pocket area. Okay, so kick low, hammer fist. Come over, reinforce side block, kick low, hammer fist. I'm going to step straight back. I know I'm the wrong foot here, but I'm coming back with my piece moves. And instead of doing 2 of these in a horse stance, all right, I'm going to do 1, and I'm going to come right into it just like out of a CSUN Kata. So I'm going to come here. I gave the piece move. He goes for it anyway, so I'm going to come up, side block, hammer fist. So it's going to go side block, hammer fist, front kick. Okay? Now from here, double block and step around. Okay? So that my bad guy's going to be over here. So I'm going to do, instead of doing another double block, I'm going to do a push block with my shin. Right? Think a modified crescent kick. Instead of using my foot to push, I'm pushing with my knee. Here, I'm going to step in with the down block, shuffle up the crane, punch, punch, front kick. Okay? Then from here, now it makes more sense because I'm turning this way, that instead of stopping, turning that leg around, then I'm going to go just the opposite way with it. So I'm going to step around, crane, do my double block, just like in Shinto, front kick, set, punch, punch, uppercut, down block. Now we come back into the break the bear hug. So we'll keep those. Break, break. I'm on the opposite side, but that's okay. Because the next move coming in is a front kick. So I'm going to still break that foot. Boom. He goes to punch me. So I'm going to catch, circle step here. Now I'm just pushing it off to the way and come in nose block. So he punched, I kind of push it off, use that as a wind up for my nose block. He comes in to grab, I step back and break. As you can see, the whole point of this isn't necessarily to like throw out the kata and make my own. The more of the point of this is to keep the spirit of the fight and change up the moves that I'm doing, right? So whether I'm trying to stay out of a horse stance because it's Seiyun Kata, and now I'm dealing with these punches and kicks that are coming at me, I'm trying to keep the bunkai similar. You know, a punch is coming at me, a kick is coming at me, a lapel grab or whatever, right? But find a different way of doing it. So instead of maybe right at the beginning, when somebody grabs on, coming out and pushing the 2 hands out, they come back and breaking it again. Now I can come across both of them and break it at the same time. And before he even grabs me, come in a second with my down block. As I said, there's no right or wrong answer with this. What I want you to do is start thinking about it. Naihanchi is going to be similar, okay? So with Naihanchi, my attacks are all going to be on the sides. But what if, instead of facing this way, or if my alley is here, what if I faced it this way? Okay, so instead of going side to side, now I'm going forward to back. So we're gonna have to think through this while we're doing it. So let's give it a shot. Yasmin? Kyotsuke? Ray? Naihanchi. Hachi. So we're gonna start, and the first thing here is we step to the side, which is behind me. Somebody's trying to grab me, so I do a roots block and a break. So what I have is somebody behind me, right? If I'm doing my kata this way, it's probably easier to imagine. So I'm going to step around a roots block, elbow chamber. Now I want to be in my san shindachi, right? So my regular Naihanchi stance is here. San shindachi is basically my Naihanchi stance with 1 foot forward. I want to be in that stance while I'm off to the side because I'm still trying to protect my knees. I'm in the same general situation that I am in Naihanchi. So my knees, protecting my knees is still important. I'm going to look this way. So normally it's black elbow here, step across, kick, or down block stab, step across, kick. So for here, I'm going to step, down block punch, step, and I'm going to do my kick straight in front of me. Here. Punch is coming at my face, so I'm going to block big, just like they're grabbing at my shoulder. I'm going to palm it around, just like in CSUN when they come with the knee smash. I'm going to wind up and punch. Okay? So think of Kusanku. So I block the punch to the face. I continue through to block the knee smash. I wind up and punch. So now, that was 1, 2 here. And then I skipped elbow nose bot because I did the wind up and the punch. So now we got a Kai over here trying to punch us. So from here, it's just going to be side block, punch. There's a guy behind us that we normally hit with the solar plex, but I think I'm in a better position to defensive side kick. So get that knee up in front, chamber your knee to the opposite hit, back kick, and then this guy, which we normally do a double punch, we're doing a double punch because he's punching us at the same time we're trying to hit him. So I'm going to do a hook and a punch at the same time. So I do my defensive side kick, step punch. Then this guy's right here, so we're going to grab onto him and elbow. The guy's behind us, so now we're going to step here. One big step to make it 180 degrees. It's going to be a down block, punch, punch. Remember, our kick goes in front and a punch. We got this guy to the front. He's coming at us. This is where we're going to lean, wind, pop, pick your knee up, and punch, right? And shift into my stance facing the front here. I've got a guy over here. He's going to be doing his big punch, so I need to do my side block. So I'm going to step over side block, do my kick to get that guy away. Remember, good defensive side kick. My knee comes up in front. I kick away and set. And then I'm going to come across back this way, hook, and punch. So I do my kick, hook, punch. You can do this for any kata. It's really simple. Pick apart the bunkai and then try to put new moves to that same attacks coming in. It gives basically two things. One, you have to remember the kata in order, and knowing the bunkai. So it's going to help you practice your kata thinking of through, but it's also going to help you come up with alternative ways to block the same things coming at you with new techniques. Okay, so Naihanchi, just for instance, this one, avoid the sweep, 1, 2, up, nose bob, side block, hammer fist, double punch. Well, if I'm facing them, the chances of them sweeping me are not very high. But I'm still doing the avoid the sweeps when I'm doing my steps here, or I could still do these avoid the sweeps if I thought that was the part that I wanted to focus on. And think about it, right? So I hammer fist this guy in the solar plex. Well, he's trying to hit me. What's stopping me from doing that reinforced side block? This guy's doing his punch. If I hook punch, right, I'm taking that punch, hooking it out of the way, and leaving a nice open gap, which is what I was going to be doing anyway with my double punch. So getting an alternative technique for the same bunkai is a great way to practice your kata so that you can focus on your techniques, right, and your breadth of techniques. With that being said, sometimes it's just as simple as, if I do CSUN kata, for instance, right, if I look at the first couple moves of CSUN, the first 5 moves is somebody comes to punch, I punch, they block, I step, punch, they block, I step, punch, I score, and then the next guy comes in trying to hit me with a strike down, so I step forward to double block, step through to drop him in the nuts, right? If I took that and say, okay, I need to punch him twice before I score the third time, he's punching me once. Okay, well now, instead of doing a side block like this, maybe I'm going to roll block punch, right? He blocks that one, I punch again, and now, if he's used to that punch, maybe I kick him instead of a punch, right? He's there, he's used to doing that side block, now I'm going to kick him instead. Now these guys coming off with their double shudos down, the best defense is not being there, right? It's not even a good offense, it's don't be there, right? Why would I run over there to block a punch coming at me? So if these chops are coming down, maybe I do lower body basic number 9. They're coming in, so I sidestep them and kick him where he was at, right? That saves me from having to turn and do this shot. Your imagination's a powerful tool, especially in this time right now where we don't necessarily have the ability to use partners, right? Karate works best with a partner because that's what it's for. It's for defending yourself, right, against somebody else. So practicing by yourself gets rough sometimes. But there are tools that you can use to kind of smooth that over as much as possible so that when we can come back together, you have all your ducks in a row. You've got all, you've got yourself the best chance. My challenge to you is to pick a kata, whether it's one of the 3 that we did, Sensei, Hachi, or a different one. My suggestion is pick the kata that you know, the highest kata you know that you know well, that you know the bunkai for, and change it. Keep the bunkai the same, change the kata completely. I want to see, what I would love to see is, a video or picture or just a clip of some technique or whatever that somebody uses that completely reimagines how they're doing their kata, okay? These kata are old. They have, entire fights held within them, but it's not the only way to do these fights. And that's where your imagination really comes into play. If imagination wasn't a factor, then, all we would do is, go up to each other and do Seisan Kata, and then that would be our fight. That's kind of stupid. Imagination is huge. It's also known as cunning. Okay? Cunning in a fight, a cunning warrior is a huge compliment to have somebody pay to you. Oh, he's a cunning warrior. Yeah, he's thinking through the whole thing. He's coming up with new stuff. He's processing the whole time. So this gets you on the right path to being that. So with that, that's what we got for today. Make sure you're doing that challenge, okay? I want you to pick a kata and go through it. Change the bunkai. Send me a picture, send me a video, leave a comment, whatever. That's what I like to see, all right? Now, for my Shiage Do students, remember we got Zoom classes. Next week is the 22nd on Friday for our Zoom class. We're going to have Sensei Kelly Sear. So make sure you come to that. She's awesome. She's going to help us out. We're still doing the Avatar Challenge workout. If you guys have started a couple days late, don't be afraid to throw that your progress picture up there. I keep putting mine on Facebook. You can link to you can comment on it in Facebook. You can send it to me as a text. Whatever you want to do, just make sure you guys are doing that. Get yourselves moving, get ready to go. And once again, our videos are now open to the public for Shiage Do Martial Arts under the YouTube channel Sensei Steve Says. So we're going to be doing some stuff with that. I've got a Patreon account set up, so if you're not one of my normal Shiage Do students and you want to have that in-person training experience, we have a Patreon set up, so at the different tiers you can get into our Zoom classes, you can get into private Q&As, we got all kinds of cool stuff like that, so make sure you check that out. Other than that, I got nothing. Make sure you guys get after it today, alright? And with that, you are dismissed. Us!